Hi guys, it's Aoife from Words of Clover and I'm here to do my next TBR jar picking. So it has been a year now since I last did a TBR jar pick. For some reason it seems to take me a year to get through the things I'm picking out, and whatever I pick out today I say I probably won't even get to the first book until 2022, which is just crazy to think about because I definitely have loads of books I want to finish by the end of 2021, like a lot of kind of like autumnal reads and winter reads and Christmas reads and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if I'd get to anything that I pick out here by the end of the year. It's kind of fun to have TBR jar picks that like last the year, and yeah, I am excited to see what I pick out. I have updated I put in a couple of new titles in this since the last time I did this, with some things that I have bought recently on Amazon Kindle, and yeah, I'm hoping I'll pick out a few of those newer reads as well as some of the really old ones. So I'm going to go ahead and pick out the first one. I'm just going to go right at the top here and pick out the first one, and that is The Stone Gods on Kindle. Now I'm just going to go and double check exactly what this is about. This is something I have bought recently, and it's something that I think it was the cover that kind of like attracted me to it. I think it is an urban fantasy. Okay, so this is The Stone God. It is by Aaron Kellison and it is the first book in a series called the Indulgence series, and yeah, the cover of this is just really cool. And I think this is a world where humans have to kind of service the gods, but this woman who we are following, her name is Tara, she has something that her grandfather gave her, which means that she doesn't have to serve the gods, she can just live her life normally. She's recently divorced and she moves to a country cottage, and I think things start to happen while she's at that cottage, and it turns out that the gods may need her services after all, even though she does have this thing called an indulgence, which means that she doesn't have to service them. Yeah, this is supposed to be just a captivating new world of gods, monsters, passion and games, and yeah, there was just something about this that just really called to me when I saw it. I think it was on like BookBub or something, and yeah, I just think the cover of this is really cool. So yeah, this will be an exciting one to get to. So this older one is The Wolves of London, which is also a Kindle book and one that I can't remember. So this seems to be, again, kind of like an urban fantasy book. It is The Wolves of London by Mark Morris, and it is the first book in a series called The Obsidian Hearts. And this is about psychology professor Alex Locke is an ex-convict forced back into the criminal underworld when his daughter is threatened. After he agrees to steal a mysterious obsidian heart, Locke is pursued by unearthly assassins known as the Wolves of London. Soon he discovers the heart can enable him to travel through time, and while it bestows him with his own dark powers, it also corrupts. So interesting. This is one I cannot remember getting. It's one that I've obviously had on my Kindle for a very long time. This could be one that I have kind of lined up to read and I decide eventually like that I actually am just not interested in it. That did happen with a couple of books in the past with the TBR jar picks, because they're kind of ones that have been around for a while, and by the time I do pick them out I'm not as interested in reading them, which is why I think this TBR jar is good as well in terms of making me think about the books that I'm getting and like, will I want to read them in the future? I don't know. But yeah, so the third book I've picked out here is Custard Tarts and Broken Hearts. This is one that I do have on my Kindle as well, and it is one that I remember buying, and it's one that I've actually wanted to pick up for a while just because I just really love that title. This is a historical fiction book. I think it is during the First World War. It is Custard Tarts and Broken Hearts by Mary Gibson, the first book in the Factory Girls series, and this is about a bunch of women who work in Pierce Duff's custard powder factory in Bermondsey during the First World War. And I think we are just following a couple of the girls as they work in the factory. We're following one girl called Nellie Clark in particular, and while she is struggling to keep her family together with her wages in this factory, and then I think she's also in the middle of a love triangle, and then also on top of all this there is World War One and kind of the London East End and everyone kind of pulling together, like the danger there with being in London during the war as well. And yeah, this sounds really good, and I do have a couple of books similar to this on my Kindle, and I definitely do want to get to all of them. But yeah, this is one that I've known for a long time I've wanted to get to, and I just haven't gotten to it yet. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that one. Okay, try again. Okay, The Nightingale Sings. This is actually a really new book that I bought on my Kindle, and this is a horse book. And this one is really interesting because I got this, again, this is kind of a BookBub deal that I saw, and this is by someone called Charlotte Bingham. So it's The Nightingale Sings, but it is the second book in a series, but I can't find the first book anywhere. And we are following a woman who, I think in the first book, she like raised this horse or trained this horse to be like a really good racehorse. And I think she had to kind of, she was up against a lot of prejudice as a woman trainer, and I think at the time period this is set in as well, it was kind of hard for her to like train this horse. And I'm pretty sure the horse like won or like did really well, and this is like the second book in that series, but I think it's possibly can be read as a standalone as well. And this is just about like what happens after her horse has won this really big prize, kind of unexpected problems she encounters around newfound fame and fortune. I have a feeling that something happens in her romantic life in this one as well. This book is actually really long. I think it's like 600 pages or something. Yeah, 640 pages, so it is a chunker. This could be like a really like a win for me, or an absolute like no way, this could be total flop. But I don't know, there was something about it, like horse girl, like a woman trainer, trying to beat the odds against like, you know, prejudice and stuff at the time as well. Kind of a little bit of is it Red Velvet or Red National? There's like this really old movie about a girl who wants to be a jockey in the Grand National, and it kind of gives me those type of vibes. So yeah, I'm really interested to read this. I was kind of hoping I would pick this one out. So yeah, I am happy about that. Now I'm actually going to try again, get one at the bottom with my stubby fat fingers that can't reach the bottom of this jar. Okay, so the next one I have is Orphans from the Storm. Again, this is a Kindle book, and again, I have no idea what this is about. Oh, okay, so this is a Christmas anthology book now. I'm looking at a review on Goodreads, so that makes sense. So these are 3 different stories, and they're kind of Christmassy, which is actually perfect now, because I could actually put this on my kind of Christmas, like wintry December TBR, and yeah, I could get at least one of these done by the end of the year. So that is actually perfect. And yeah, see how it is. I mean, I could try the first story. Like, the good thing is there are 3 different stories, so they could all be a little bit different, and I think it's 3 different authors. So it's Rita Bradshaw, Penny Jordan and Carol Wood. So yeah, if I don't like the next one story, the next story might be better. So I'm actually glad I picked that out now. So that's everything for my TBR jar this time around. Let me see, like, I'm presuming it'll probably take me another year to get through all of these, but yeah, I'm actually really excited about all of these. The only one that I'm a little bit iffy about is probably The Wolves of London, just because I cannot even remember why I picked that up in the first place, but we will see. It could be like a surprise. I sometimes pick things up out of this TBR jar, my TBR jar, that end up completely surprising me, and I end up really liking them. So yeah, interested to see and see what I think. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have read any of these books, I would love to know what you think. What you think I should start off with, other than the Christmas book, obviously, because when's the best time to read that other than upcoming Christmas season? And yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you guys again next time. Bye.